Okay, so I was giving them an example about a justifiable anger, and my brain go back to the situation where the King Solomon, faced by a situation. Remember, there was a young maid. The nation of Israel appointed a young maid for King David, and after the death of King David, one of the relative in the King David circle, came to the mother of King Solomon and said to him that, can you talk to King Solomon, because David is dead now and I want to marry that maid. Remember the situation in the Bible? And the King Solomon, used to obey her mother, but when he heard about this situation, he was angry. The King Solomon was angry, and he had killed that person who has asked for a marriage proposal. So that was justifiable because that was considered as a wife for King David, not just a maid. So that.
Yeah. So there's things that are justifiable. And we need to understand that's part of what love is. Again, we could get into a whole thing on love because the majority of, I would even venture to say, Christians don't understand the dynamic of what God's love is, especially when it comes to consequences. So,
well said, because really Christians really don't understand this point, and majority of them. All right.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about now, what does God want me to do with my feelings of anger? Because I when I get these feelings, what do I do with them? And so here's the question we have to ask. What is the true source of the feelings? And then honestly evaluate how we can use the anger that's in order to get whatever it is we need to get met, because they're tied into a need. I hope I'm not getting too deep.
Yes, you are getting deep, but yes, understandable.
Okay. There are needs that we have. The reason why we're getting anger has to do with something that we need, whether we understand it or not. Because a lot of times we might not know what we need. And so we're what's the word I want to use? We get anxious. Let me use that term. We get anxious when something's there that we don't even understand ourselves. And yet we react out of anger because it's so natural to do that. But there's something in us that needs to be met in order for it to be satisfied, in order for us to understand. And so we have to ask the question, why? Why do I feel this way? Why am I so angry about what just happened? Is there something that I'm missing that I really need to have? And so when we ask that deeper question and really seek the Lord about it, I think we might get an answer, or talk to somebody that knows us.
Amazing. You had cleared my head. There was a lot of thoughts in my head about this question. You have just cleared my head. Let me put the example in front of you so you can approve that example. For example, I was thinking, because especially when you have a anger against one of your family member, let's say about your mother or wife. These are the very close relationship, right? The mother and a wife.
Yes. Yes.
And a wife. And when it comes to like wife or mother, it's very hard for you, to stop them to stop them from something, right? And if you become little bit faster or heavier, it's gonna be a problem, right? If you not stop them, then there is a problem as well. So you are in middle of something. If you stop them, it could cause the issue. If you will not stop, it will cause the issue. What should you do as a leader? You are caught up in two doors. Now what I feel, because you have pushed me towards the area in my mind where I need to know the reason why I'm doing this. That's a very powerful question. And the ground I'm standing, actually, The ground I'm standing actually, because I was saying that if I'll not stop my mother, or if I'll not stop my wife, it can damage the work of the Lord from so many years, like 9 years of a ministry that God has been working with us in ministry. And if it can damage that work of the Lord, or it can, cause a problem, I have to stop. I have to stop my mother. I have to stop my daughter. I have to stop my wife. I have to explain them that you should not, do that, because it will hurt the name of the Lord. The reputation is not about me. It's not my reputation. It's the reputation of God. It's the holy name, that you have to stop, doing that, because
so
that's the ground.
So let me help you. See,
Yes.
So notice how you are approaching it. You are approaching it from, you have to stop. But what you're not getting is some understanding on why they might be doing what they're doing. See, that's the key. You need to ask the question, have you thought about why you were doing this? And get some insight, because with the insight on why they were doing it, they might have a reason why they're doing what they're doing. But if you never stop, ask, and just demand that they stop, you won't never get an understanding. Understanding is what leads to a place of being able to know, wait a minute, maybe they're right about something, and I need to change my thought process. But I have to allow that communication to come about, because it's all about understanding. And at that point, understanding is greater than agreement.
Okay, let me give another example. I completed an agreement here with you, Brother Crawford, and here comes another example. Remember, the Peter came to Jesus, and they were together, and Jesus, had explained that the Son of Man must be go through all the sorrow and suffering before he, before he resurrected, before he leave this earth. So the Peter was very emotional, and he said, no, who can touch you when I'm standing with you? Nobody can take you towards the cross, and you cannot be hurted. Nobody can insult you. Nobody can touch you. I am your. In other words, he's trying to stop the work of the God. And remember what Jesus said to Peter. He said to Peter, Satan, go away, Satan, because I have to fulfill the will of my Father. So what I feel, the ground at my end, whenever I am in that type of situation, the rooted principle is the glory of God. When the decision you are taking is for the glory of God or for the will of God, then I'll not step back. I have to do, even if I have to be angry, I have to be whatever, comfort zone. It was not easy for Jesus. It was hard for Jesus, and Peter is taking care of Jesus, and he wants him to be comforted. Jesus does not accept that comfort. How do you see that?
Here's the difference.
Yes, please.
Jesus was going to the cross to save all these people from sin, so that we could enter into a relationship with God. That's a completely different situation than what yours would be. That's an act of the will of God for all of humanity. That's not where we're at. We can die today and God still continue the ministry tomorrow.